Epilogue. Long after the echoes of battle faded, and the city lay cloaked beneath the fractured night sky, the truth lingered like a whisper in the dark. The shroud had always been more than the swirling veil of black and silver light that clung to Zane. It was older than the oldest story, older than any written record. A relic of a lost war between forces that no longer had names. The shard, a jagged fragment of crystalline obsidian, pulsing with a faint, unnatural glow, was its heart. The shard was not simply a weapon or a talisman. It was a living echo, a sliver of consciousness forged by the Verne, a civilization whose spires had once touched the stars. The Verne city, the one whispered about in the third chapter, had been the center of all known time manipulation. They created the shard not to conquer, but to preserve, to keep one guardian bound to history's most fragile moments, ensuring time itself never unraveled. But preservation came with a price. The shard was not an object one used. It was a force one served. For Zane, the shard was both anchor and warden. It whispered in the quiet hours, its voice not entirely his own. When history strayed from the narrow path it deemed correct, the shard pulled him back, forcibly, if it had to, resetting events, bending the threads of cause and effect until they aligned again. This was his destiny, not chosen, not given, bound. Few knew the truth of Zane's blood. He was not of this world. His origin lay among the stars on a planet whose name he no longer spoke aloud. His kind were born with the ability to step across centuries, as others might step across a threshold. At a young age, before his life had even begun in earnest, he was taken from his home to endure a trial, one meant to determine whether he was worthy of wielding the shard. He had survived. He had passed. When the trial ended, he returned home. But home was gone. The planet's surface was a ruin of glass and ash, its cities erased as though scraped clean from existence. The stars above it were silent, its people, his people, nothing more than fading memory. The shard had chosen him, but it had also taken everything from him. Now the shroud moved with him as both shield and burden, veiling his presence from enemies who might seek the shard and from those who might try to bend its power for themselves. It was the reason he lived in fragments, moments scattered through different centuries, never fully belonging anywhere. Those who crossed his path might see only a mercenary, a wanderer, or a man with a curse he refused to name. But those who understood, truly understood, would know. The shard was not simply his to bear, and the story it demanded of him was far from over.